They are very different from one to another. As I was saying, there have been the commissions, river basins commissions, they do have different names in different places. But the river basin commissions, like in Columbia River basins, there is a power has been given to the professionals to take a lot of decisions on their own. Whereas this is not the case. Like take for example in the basins river basin commissions in Mekong, you have them, but you have also the national parties do have a lot of power to them. You know, they can do things on their own. Like take for example also the Ganges River Commission, which they only meet once in a year. The commission, which one in Bangladesh, another in India, they met once in a year. Similarly, the Indus River Commission meets once in a year. So the different commissions have the different practices of dealing with it. But depending on what kind of their mandate is, and I think the mandates are very different from one party to another depending on what kind of agreements they have signed. And we also should need to, before glorifying the northern cases for the southern cases, we should realize the issues are different. Why issues are different? In the northern cases, most of this water sharing goes on to like water quality issues, pollution, or water management from the dams, because when there will be some navigational use, where there will be some fishing purposes, some recreational purposes. Whereas in the south, or particularly like take for example in the Nile or Zambezi or Mekong, we mostly it's a water quantity issue. So it's a huge scarcity of water. It's if you have the resources, if you have technology, it is easier to deal with the pollution issue, which we can possibly do in the north. That is because we have plenty of water, it's just depending on how we get the water cleaned. And we have technology and we have resources, and as I was also giving you example of Rhine, that countries can come together and do it on the pollution level. But if there is a quantity issue, then it becomes, it's your water means I lose water. So you win, I lose. It's have two winning situation becomes difficult. And I think that's the major challenge for the River Basin Commission. So most of the River Basin Commissions in the south, they have been at least on the sharing of the water, not managing the water, most of them. And that's the differences. I think the conflicts which is, I'm not saying that they are going to lead to a violent wars, because we have learnt it that people are quite smart enough, or the leadership will able to understand the importance of it, will try to see, and they have been doing, there has been a lot of progress going on in that front. So it's not that that everything will come to end. I'm not saying, I don't advocate that things will fall apart. But the most important thing is that to get that message to the people, those who are able to take the decisions, they need to understand the situation. They need to understand the gravity of the problem. They need to understand that this is what is important for us to do, for us and for future generations. And I think I think it is gradually getting into there, and the people are started realizing it. This might, one aspect is it might bring in new conflict, but the other aspect is it can create areas for new cooperation, because we know now that this is not our we are not directly, or the downstream countries cannot blame the upstream countries, or upstream countries cannot blame the downstream countries for this kind of river flow variation. So we know that this is something not in our control, but we have to do it, we have to share it. And I think that can bring countries together. So what I'm saying is that there is a possibility that the climate change related uncertainties might break the traditional pattern of blaming each other and letting the countries to work together to finding new solutions.